broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to another fine episode of America's Next Top Model. This is the elimination finale, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Thaddeus Massey, and joining me today is one of the finalists who made it to the top 3, the sexy beast himself, Will Jardell. Will, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm excellent, especially now that I got you on the phone so we could talk about this amazing top 3 that has never happened in the history of all of ANTM. This is like...
3 boys. It's weird.
It is. It's weird. I'm proud, and I feel awkward all at the same time. Yeah, confused.
Yeah,
it's
you're
like,
awesome, 3 guys, but what happened?
you know, just talking to Lennox, I'm like, you know, the bottom 2, Lennox and Keith, I'm like, oh, Keith is gonna go home. And I'm like, Keith, I just assumed Keith was gonna go home. I'm like, wow, Adam made it, and I expected you to make it to the top. Adam shocked a lot of people, even though he applied everything that he was taught. And I don't think anybody expected Lennox to go home, especially she's been the last female to represent the ladies. So
right, I think we all thought that Keith was going to go home. Honestly, we at that bottom 2, we were all shocked that Keith stayed, and we didn't know our scores from the judges, and so we were kind of just like, we don't know what's going to happen, and so all of us were really nervous. But never in a million years did I think there would be 3 guys in the final 3.
Look, to the show's credit, you got to give them this much. You, Keith, and Adam have nothing in common when it comes to modeling. You guys are in three different lanes. So to the show's credit, I'm like, well, the guys that are in the top are nothing alike. And once they sent Lennox home, I'm like, well, I don't know what the heck is going to happen now. I don't know wow, like, really? Like, okay, this is weird, like we just said. And now the fact that there's 3 of you guys who bring completely different styles to the table, it was anybody's game. Anybody's game.
I agree.
So, I mean, what was going through your mind? You just said that you thought, but when they said Keith, what was going through your mind after Keith or Lennox got eliminated and it was just the 3 of you guys?
I honestly thought that I could beat out Adam. I wasn't worried about him just because of his performance throughout the whole competition. I thought that I had always done like better than him. But when they announced Keith, I was like, dang it, I'm going to have a lot of competition going into the final runway with Keith. I mean, it would have been the exact same with Lennox, but it was the fact that he was another boy. And even though we're not very similar in our modeling or anything in that aspect, it's just like, oh no, another guy that I have to beat out. Instead, could have beat Lennox and, you know, showed my confidence that she doesn't have and taken home the title. But I think I got kind of more nervous that Keith made it through and not Lennox. Right.
Yeah, because the competition, it got real stiff. It got real.
These last few episodes, they were, you know, a lot of stress and exhaustion from, you know, being worried about what's going to happen next because everyone was so talented and just really great. So always nervous about what's coming up next.
Well, speaking before we got to that point, it was the final 4. You guys are going bananas in the house and just, you know, jumping up and down on furniture and, you know, running around, you guys are just so excited that you guys have made the top 4. How did you feel when the cast, you know, Tyra likes to pull those rabbits out of her hat, and next thing you know, the cast comes back? What was going through your mind when she pops up and then she introduces the cast back before you guys did the Tyra shoot?
Oh, I think we were all so excited to see everyone. It was, I mean, we hadn't spoken to them in a couple of weeks, and so it just was really great to be able to see them again. And because we were so stressed out, and all four of us had been living together for so long with kind of going crazy because, you know, same people, it's annoying. But when those people came back, it was like, oh my gosh, yay, my friends. It was a huge sigh of relief to have another support system, another outlet that we could talk to, and those friendships that we had made could be rekindled and kind of bond again on the experience. And there was no pressure for any of us, of the people that came back, because we weren't trying to beat them. We were just, you know, doing our own thing, and they could, you know, be supportive of us and our journey at the very end.
Yeah. And you got to see your girl Ray Leah. You hadn't seen her in a while. It's good to see you guys. You guys see. It was good to see you guys reunite and work together. The shoot was so funny. Like just as far as, you know, Tyra's gonna find a way to plug what she's got to plug. I thought that was great that she used you guys for advertising, and there was a challenge for her product line that she's coming out with. Tyra, or
oh yeah,
whatnot.
I agree. It was really fun to be a part of it, and I know that she was so excited to share it with us that it made us very excited to be able to be a part of it. So I agree, it's a great product plug, and I think that, you know, she's going to go over really well because the products she had were pretty awesome.
Right. Now, was it that shoot that you had to take your shirt off, or was it it wasn't the guest, it was that shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that one. It was weird. It was weird because they had put me in this outfit, and I was like going on the set, and they're like, oh wait, why does he have clothes on? And I was like, I don't know, I'm not in charge. And so I had to go redo everything, and that's when I kind of got like frazzled, because they told me one thing and they had to change it last minute, and then I did another thing, and then the time crunch was crazy. I actually went last. They edited it to where I was in the middle, but I went last, so I had the shortest amount of time from everyone because we had to be out of the mall by like 7 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of time, so I just got really stressed out, and so I think that came across while we were filming the little commercial. So, but yeah, they just threw me through a loop at the very end right there with looking different from everybody else and not telling me beforehand. So I think that's why I look a little crazy.
What time did you guys have to get up in the morning to get ready and prep for that shoot if you guys had to be done by 7 a.m.?
I think Tyra came into our hotel room around like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m., and that's when we did all the hair and makeup, and then we drove over to the mall, which took like an hour to get there. But we started filming the commercials around midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and then just went all the way through it until I think we actually left around 6, because they had to take down all their equipment. But it was fast, and everyone was so tired. And then funny, because the next morning at 10 a.m. is when we shot the nylon commercial, or the nylon photos. So we literally slept for like 3 hours and then went straight and did another photo shoot. So those 2 days we were just like, okay, I'm exhausted. Can we have like a 4-hour block to take a nap or something? But it was just a very tiring day, and it was early in the morning.
All right. I mean, you guys were working, so you guys were up all night working.
Yeah, we were really up for like 24 hours.
I want to talk about this guest shoot. This guest shoot that you guys had. You delivered Smy's perfection. And honestly, when I saw that and Utah said it was iconic, you know what? It was very, very, very guest iconic. It was one of those pictures. Anybody that's not familiar with Los Angeles, or anybody that is familiar with Los Angeles, knows of the Beverly Center area. It's on Beverly and La Cienega. It's a very famous shopping center, shopping mall. And there's a guest ad that's usually right there across the street. There's like, for years, it's always been like this guest billboard. I could definitely see that picture of you on that billboard or on the Beverly Center. It was that strong. It was that strong. It was really that strong of a shot. So I personally thought you had best photo. You were my pick.
Me too. That's what I said. I was like, dang it, I really loved my picture so much. I thought it was one of the strongest masculine pictures that I delivered all season. And then when Adam got it, I was like, dang it.
Right.
I really thought I had that one.
Nothing against Keith and Adam. I think they had great shots too, but I just thought yours was really like perfection. I was just like, that's perfect.
And mine, to me, mine looked more Guess than theirs.
Yeah, most definitely.
From what I've seen from Guess, I thought that mine matched the brand and what they, would want. So whatever.
Right. It's all good. You still came in second for that one, and. The fact Adam nails two in a row best photo. What are you guys thinking? Adam has nailed 2 in a row. He nails the Elvis shoot, and then he gets this one. I know you and Keith have to be going crazy in your head, like wow, Adam is a contender. Like this is like he's really putting his best foot forward with you guys. He really is he's displaying it on the line.
Oh, yeah. We were all just like, what is going on? This guy who stayed at the bottom for so long and almost went home so many different times, and then all of a sudden in Korea he just did really well and started, taking critiques. And but I still just didn't feel threatened. I think that's, not very nice to say, but I really didn't, just because I knew that with all of the things that had happened all cycle and his drinking and everything, I just felt that overall me and Keith were just stronger models and people who could represent top model the best as possible. Not so that Adam's a bad person, but me and Keith were both just like, we've done so well the entire season that I think that we, have this in the bag. I mean, Adam, he improved so much the entire season, but it was just like you kind of need to be consistent and always, on the top of your game. And I think that his alcohol and the drinking just got in his way because, I mean, if you think about it, he was drinking the whole time, and then when he stopped, he got best photo twice.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, yeah, well,
I'm making a crazy face right now.
Right, so. Exactly. I know you are. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he did his thing, and as far as you're concerned, you are you starting to feel more comfortable with your body? Because even though you had your shirt off, and you're like, no, I don't have to take my shirt off, kind of thing. But it seems as if you're starting to feel a little more comfortable in your skin without a shirt on. It seems like you're feeling more comfortable with that.
Oh, yeah, so much more comfortable. I think when you have tire bangs, pretty much after out on the date, there's nothing else you need to be scared of in life, pretty much. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Right, most definitely. Well, I mean, the guest shoot, you did an amazing job, and you advanced to the Lee Sung Bong runway competition, which was basically it boiled down to that for that final challenge. Before you guys went out there, though, Tyra, what did you guys think? It seemed like Tyra was going to drop a bomb, and I thought she was going to eliminate one of the three of you before you guys actually went on the runway. Is that what you guys were thinking?
Oh, yeah. It was...
Because she did that last season. She did that.
She did Corey.
Yeah, she did the Corey.
All of us all knew what happened last year. Like, okay, let's be real. I was terrified because, I mean, she did it last year. I didn't see any reason why she wouldn't do it this year. There was 3 people.
Right.
We were all kind of waiting for it to come, and then when she started walking in, and she was like, I have something to say, and we were like, oh, crap, this is it. Somebody else was going home. But when she said have fun, we were just like, thank God, because I really just wasn't ready for any of us to go home because we were just so happy to be doing the final runway that it just would have crushed all 3 of us if any of us would have gone home. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And you guys, what was going through your head when before you went on the runway? Because there has to be an insurmountable amount of pressure on you guys. In this moment, you have 3 boys, 3 young men, contending and battling for this title. and this is gone. This, you know, this is something that's going to go down in history as the first male winner of America's Next Top Model. It comes down to 3 of you guys who are not really in each other's lanes. There has to be a million things going through your mind before you step on that runway.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was very nervous. I was so excited and so sad. I think the biggest thing that I felt was just being so sad because this is the last thing that we would be doing for the competition, and I had loved every second of it. And so I was like, I don't want it to be over. And from that, I mean, everyone, the whole cast was there, and we were all just like, have so much fun, like just enjoy this last thing, because once it's over, it's out of your hands. Everything you've done thus far in the competition is done. You can't change anything. So it was more of just, you know, have fun, enjoy this moment, because you're going to remember it forever. And yeah, it was very sad, but I mean, again, I was very nervous because, Lord,
yeah,
it's terrifying.
Yeah, you know, one thing they mentioned at panel is they felt like some of Adam's stiffness had worn off on you a little bit. How did you feel about that assessment?
You know, it's interesting because a lot of the times when I do I listen to critiques about my walk or anything that I'm doing on set, and every critique is so wishy-washy and different, because that one time they'll be like, you need to walk more feminine, and another time I'll be like, you need to walk more masculine. I'm like, okay, people, what do you want me to do? Because you say 2 different things every 5 seconds.
Right.
So I think at that moment we had already been practicing behind stage, and I just kept getting those same comments that were like, you need to be more aggressive and more strong in your walk tonight. And I was like, okay, and then I would do it, and they're like, okay, now less. And I was just like, okay, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm doing, you know, what I know to do. And so when I walked on the runway, I was just like, think strong, think masculine, and, you know, still be yourself. And I think that I looked great. I think that Kyra was, you know, whooping and hollering over there on the side. I didn't feel that I was being stiff, and that was really surprising when they made those comments. But it was hard to take those critiques of do this, do that, and not know exactly what they wanted.
Right. How I felt personally, and you guys know I'm always going to put my 2 cents in, and everybody's going to have, you know, their opinions about everything on the show. But that last that runway, the Lee Song Bong, I felt like you were maybe maybe like not stiff. I don't want to say stiff is not the right word. I would say you were like safe, like, okay, I'm good right here.
Yeah.
It was just like,
yeah,
it was like,
agree.
it was safe, not stiff, just safe, not relaxed, but safe. It was a good walk. You had a good, decent walk. It was safe. Adam, I felt like Adam was thinking way too much. He's a very mental kind of thinker. He's a thinker. And I felt like he thought a lot. He was thinking a lot. He was being confident, but he was thinking a lot. I think Keith went into athlete mode. It was like, I just got to do this. I'm out here. I'm go. This is yours. Go, go, go. I think he felt like he was pushing himself in like an athletic type of way. You guys, you know, the energy was so strong, and being in that moment, I think you guys can read everything that was going on in your faces. That moment, you guys walking down the runway.
It's so easy to tell what we're all thinking, because in my face, you can tell that I'm nervous. Keith, you can tell that he's so focused, and then Adam's just like, okay, like tense and like freaking out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely, you definitely could read everything that was going on in your guys' faces. It was nerve-wracking to feel for you guys being in that situation. It was funny. It was so many different things all at once just to watch this happen. And then they had everybody else, you know, walking the runway with you guys as well. They had Allison Harvard come back, just to bounce back to that. Did she walk the runway with you guys? Or who walked the runway? It was Jordan. Or was it Jordan?
Jordan Miller she won last year.
Okay, she walked the runway with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. So
I was way more excited to see Allison Harvard than Jordan, that's for sure.
Allison said that she's been living in the Philippines,
she lives in the Philippines. Yeah.
So she actually. She has a very distinct look, and her eyes and her features are like really were really distinct. It's funny to see the mix of cycles. You kind of love that. because you get so wrapped up into the cast that's competing within itself for that season that when they do a mix, it gives you like another perspective. So when they bring people back and they kind of mix them in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And like, say if she would have been in our cycle, it just wouldn't have made sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She just wouldn't have fit in with the group or the theme of the cycle. And so I think it's very interesting to see everyone after their season of Top Model. Like, I'm really close friends with a lot of people from past cycles now, and it's very interesting to think that they would have been on our cycle, how they would have done or what would have happened.
Yeah, most definitely. Because, I mean, didn't Tyra do like an all-star show or something like that? Where she brought...
Yeah, Cycle 17 was All-Stars.
Okay, I think she needs to do another one. I don't know. Well, it's 17. That was only a few. She'll probably do a few more seasons of guys and girls, and then do another All-Stars after some cast is built up, and there's some actual past male cast members that they can bring to an All-Stars after they do a few more seasons.
Groups to pick from, and that's not very many right now, but I agree. She'll do All-Stars sometime.
Yeah, that would definitely be fun to watch. What else did I want to bring up? I'm going blank for a second. I'm just so happy that you're here. I'm like, well, made it this far. It's amazing. How's the reception been for you since all of this has happened and you accomplishing as much as you've accomplished? Like the support. You're expressing some things that you were feeling like you feel like more of an acceptance. I don't want to say acceptance. I don't know if that's the best word, but you're feeling more comfortable. And like, what has the reception been from viewers and fans for you?
It's been incredible. I think that after the finale, when I got second, people just like went crazy on all of my social media, just like, no, you should have won. I've been rooting for you. And people be like, I cried all night because you didn't win. And I'm just like, that is intense. People like, that's, you know, awesome that you've been such a fan of mine. But, you know, I love Keith and I'm very happy and proud of him. But it's just been crazy. It's just been incredible and very supportive. And I haven't had any negative things said at all. Honestly, it's just been so awesome to hear what everyone has to say and how much they've been on my side this entire process. And even though I didn't win, it's just, fans are just like, you should have won. And that makes me feel so great about people, you know, believing in me and seeing me as a strong contender, but also as a model who can make it in the industry.
You know, when you were in, when you were doing the, I guess it was the go-sees in Korea, for the runway shows, you were being sized and there was a lot of clothing that actually didn't fit you because you were too tall, I guess, for the clothing or whatever. I've never even heard of, because you're 6'6", right?
Right.
Yeah. So is that like supposed to be, because excuse my ignorance, I've always thought models were supposed to be tall. I've never heard of a too tall for a model ever in my life.
Yeah, I mean, 6'6" is actually, it's really tall. 6'4" is kind of pushing it. And so for me, it wasn't ever the shirt or anything on top. It was always the pants. Because I'm a dancer, I have not thick legs, but just really big legs. And so that translates to a big old booty. So when I put the pants on, it's just, they go over my legs, I get them on, and then I can't button them because my rear end's just too big. And so there was no pants that could fit at all. And I mean, in Korea, the average size of the person that lives there is not anywhere near what it is in America. So, right. I mean, when I did LA casting week on the show, I got 2 out of 3, and the clothes fit perfectly. But in Korea, it was a different story because they just don't cater towards the, you know, American models.
Right, of course. What episodes or what pictures, final pictures, were chosen that stick out in your mind the most? Do you feel like you might have had a better shot than that was chosen throughout the season? Like, what pictures do you feel like, I think I might have had a better shot than was chosen for that particular shoot?
I think that I had a better picture for the Elvis one for sure. That was probably my least favorite one that I did all season. The one that I just really don't like is the one where we did the No Glove, No Love with the wings. That one, it just I mean, I liked one of the pictures that I did, but the other one is just like, I don't like it at all. But I do think I had probably maybe a better one than those. But every other one, like, I really thought that I was my best photo, especially the first one we did in Korea, the jumping one with the bags. That he beat me, but we both got 3/10 from the judges, and I really love that picture. And
the MCM.
I don't know, I like all of my pictures except the Elvis one and then the wing one.
Okay, that's about right. Because you were pretty consistent and you did a really good job. The MCM, you did a great job on that shoot.
Hey, I just won best photo. Good Lord.
Right. Who did you feel was like the best, the most fair panel on the judge on the panel, the fairest judge on the panel? Who did you feel was the most fair for you? From just observing, not even just for yourself, just observing and watching overall. Because you got Miss J on one end, and then you got Kelly on another end, and then Tyra's like somewhere in between. So
Tyra gave the weirdest scores. Let's be real. She would give somebody a 9, and then somebody else would give them a 6, and it's like, okay, that's a lot of a difference.
Yeah.
So I think that Miss J was kind of the buffer between the two, and sometimes Kelly, just depending on the photo shoot. Because if Kelly didn't like the photo shoot, she just was mean to everybody. But Miss J was very neutral and gave her honest opinion, and most of the time it was in between Kelly and Tyra, and I felt that Miss J's scores were always very true to what the picture actually delivered. And I just can't get over all of Tyra's scores, because she would give like somebody a 9, and Kelly would give them a 5, and then we'd all be like, wait, why is it a 9 when someone else gives it a 5? And it was very confusing. The scores were very confusing, to listen to and to get, but I do think Miss J was probably the fairest.
Okay. Yeah, I think that.
Of them all.
I think a lot of people have, like in cybersphere, have reflected those same sentiments about Miss J scoring. You know, Kelly was like the mean one. And Tyra, you don't know what you're gonna get from Tyra, and Miss J seemed to be the one that was always kind of like even kill, so to speak. So a lot of people have actually voiced that same opinion, which is funny. What is going on with you now? What's going on since the show?
I mean, I'm still back home. I watched the final episode with my family and all my friends. We had about 400 people come out and watch it with me, which was so overwhelming and awesome.
What?
But
they do it bigger in Texas, boy, I tell you.
People, they were excited. I swear, they were so excited.
That's nice.
But then I'll be back in LA next Saturday, and just gonna go as hard as possible to make things happen.
You're a really smart and witty person, and I would think that you would like maybe to get in front of the camera where you can actually talk and get some lines and something, maybe do a little acting. Have you thought about that? Have you considered it?
I mean, if you watch the episodes where we had to act, that is not my forte. I mean, I can practice and get better, but Lord.
I think you definitely have the persona that you can act. I could see you like on some comedy, some successful comedy, because you're actually a really funny, witty person. If people notice, I think people have noticed that, and that means you have a high level of intelligence. People don't understand. People that are witty and funny actually operate from a level of intelligence to be able to pull that off. Make people laugh. It's easy to make people cry. It's harder to make people laugh than it is to make people cry. Everybody will cry over the same thing. Everybody's not gonna laugh over the same thing.
You saw me on the episode. I cry every 5 seconds.
Right. You're an emotional guy.
You made me cry, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but I literally was crying every time they showed my face. You had a lot on your shoulders. There was a lot going on. I know, it was just an emotional 2 hours. Let's be honest, it was emotional. It was an emotional season. It was an emotional. There was a lot going on this season, from Romeo to Chantel to Mariana and Denzel. There was a lot going on this season.
There really was.
Me and Matthew, me and Leah.
Exactly. You and Matthew.
And
yes.
All kinds of stuff. I agree. I think that this was one of the.
Then you and Denzel had an episode.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that happened. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. It was a very, very fun season to watch, and this cast is going to be hard to top next cycle. I don't know how they're going to do it. It's going to be really difficult. You guys really
going to do it. We win.
Yeah, you guys really left your mark. So until next time, where can your fans find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at William Jardell, and on Facebook, my fan page is facebook.com/Will Jardell ANTM. Yeah.
Thanks for getting on, Will. We're looking forward to you doing big things because you definitely have the face, the style, and the, I hate saying it, swagger. You definitely have it to do some big things in the industry. So we're going to be looking forward to seeing you.
Hey, thanks, Thaddeus.
Of course. Until next time, After Buzzers, I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey. Catch me on Twitter and Instagram at Club Thaddeus. See you next time. Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.